Welcome back, sailors. It's the captain. We're back. Talking about some stuff. Let's talk about some stuff. How about that? I was just watching American Vandal. It's like right up on Netflix right there on the TV. I was watching it in between a break. I was just writing a few things down. American Vandal is so good. Like if you haven't got the chance to watch it, like it's like a spoof of Making a Murderer. I mean, like it's not like there's no jokes behind that stuff. Like I'm not trying to say that as a joke. It's Making of a Murderer was good too. I liked it a little bit, but I also don't like stuff like that. Like it ended up being really sad instead of being like some glorifying justice story. And then everything else around it just got kind of crazy and it's depressing. But American Vandal was great. The first season was fantastic, and then the second season with the turd burglar and the dump day and stuff like that. Like it's awesome. Like it's just an awesome series. I hope that they do a season 3. I've heard that they're not doing a season 3 with Netflix, anyways. But it would be fantastic if they did because I absolutely love it, and I know from some other people that I know they love it too. So if you haven't gotten the chance to check that out, you should check it out because it's a good watch. It's a super good watch. Anyways, getting into some other stuff. So Walmart in the United States has not decided to take guns down at all. They've decided to, they will be removing anything from their shelves video game related that is anything to do with the violence. Essentially anything that's a violent video game, which, I mean, if you look at it, like, video games can be violent. Like, it's just going to be that way. But I think that life is just that way a little bit, too. Like, you can't nerf life. Like, if you try to bubble wrap things, then it's just going to end up being bad. And I think that sometimes solidifying one situation is obviously, it's not the right way to go about things. When there's something that happens, you can't narrow it down to one situation, especially when it comes to 300 million people. Like there's 300 million people in the United States. Like they're gonna be some fuck ups here and there. It's just the way that it goes. Now, again, I said this before, like there's a bunch of fucked up stuff with this. Like I wrote down too that Apex Legends, they had a tournament coming up on ESPN, and they're canceling the tournament completely because of the shootings. Now, I'm not trying to say that there's anything wrong with that, and, if that's how you want to go about things, then, go about that. Same with Walmart. I'm not the boss. You guys are the boss. You're the ones with the multi-billion-dollar companies. You know what to do. You know that, you might catch heat from people, because that's the kind of society we live in now where everybody has an opinion. Nobody really has a solution. Anyways, I don't have the answers, and all I have are opinions myself, and it's crazy at the end of the day. I don't know if anybody really is ever going to get it right when it has to do this with this stuff, but when you look at how big of an issue it is, like on a grander scale, it's obviously something that you want to be able to solve, but compared to the numbers in the States, it's like I said, there's going to be some fuck-ups here and there, and I don't think that because there's these isolated events that are happening, that it means that an entire culture needs to be shut off from the world. I don't think that video games are the problem. Video games are literally like probably the cornerstone to the entertainment company when you look at it. I would say at the top level of how we view entertainment, you have sports, then you have movies, and then you have video games. So out of those three things, they literally support the entertainment of the entire world, right? Like sports being the most, sports like the Olympics and, soccer like the World Cup, the NFL, with the Super Bowl and hockey and all that stuff, pro wrestling, mixed martial arts, all that stuff is like where everybody, the most of the people, that top notch, that's where most people get their leisure from. Second is obviously movies because of how much, these TV and movies do for people. They make billions of dollars from people viewing this stuff. And then video games is a close third to that. But you don't see anybody shutting down, how violent sports can be. Because it's not like sports have guns in them, but I mean, they're still violent nonetheless. Like, look at the UFC. Like the UFC is, you could argue that UFC is human chicken fighting. Like people are literally paying hundreds of dollars to just go watch two dudes or two chicks beat the shit out of each other. And I love it personally, but I don't think that it condones anything, because I don't look at it as human chicken fighting. I look at it as like a chess match, just like any other sport would be. Just like these games are. I don't think that people realize how therapeutic this stuff actually is for people, because it takes away from the fact that other people have to have the chance to do this and you don't. Sometimes it sucks when you think about it, because there's nothing that I would rather be than a pro gamer or a pro UFC fighter, or I was getting millions of views on YouTube. There's nothing that I would love more than any of that stuff. But it just might not be in the cards unless you work at it. If you work at it, but there's so many more variables that come with that, like being able to have the money to fund this stuff. Like I'm trying out a new stand right now, and it's actually looking pretty good. I'm looking pretty good, and it's not moving, and it's doing well. It's something my mom bought me, and I like it. But again, it's only a step forward. It's not like I have, 10 G's to spend on cameras and, special seats and special backdrops and all this stuff so I can do proper editing and all that stuff. Like, it's not like I have the funds to do that, but other people do. And because they do, they're able to be more successful. Same goes with sports. When I was a kid, I wanted to play ice hockey so bad, but it just wasn't in the cards at all. Because my mom didn't have the money, my dad didn't have the money, I wasn't able to get a car ride at 6 a.m. There's nothing I would have loved more than to be able to play ice hockey along with playing the other sports that I did, but it was just, I couldn't afford the sticks, I couldn't afford the pads, I couldn't afford the jersey, I couldn't afford the season, I couldn't afford the rides. It's just, sometimes these things, they aren't in the cards. So then you look at it at a bigger picture than that, and it's like, hey, you're not able to do that, but you can watch other people do that. And watching those other people do that, it kind of takes you away from everything else that you have to deal with, because at the end of the day, we all gotta, be parents, get jobs, take shit from our people that we love. We all gotta do that and deal with it. So these things that give us this entertainment, it's not something that fuels us to make our decisions. The things that make us, that fuel us to make our decisions, is the love we have for each other, right? Every decision you make at the end of the day, it isn't to play video games or to play sports or do any of that stuff. If you're, a person who's at home, or you're a person who's a parent, my family is what fuels me to do everything. But video games don't fuel me to play video games. Like I don't go to work, or I don't do what I do so that I can play more video games. No. That's not the way that it works. And I think that fundamentally speaking, when you look at it from that aspect, I don't think that anybody could ever be pushed to make that sort of decision to go and shoot people. We already know that the person who went to go shoot up the Walmart, he did it because he was a racist. He was a belligerent racist. He wrote notes about it, and people were warned about it, and he had all this stuff. Like, he was just a violent, fucked up racist. So I mean, what does that have to do with video games? I've never really played a video game that made racism funny in a way, because they know that that's a slippery slope. You have to watch that, because people will get down on your ass about that. So I think that this is a little crazy, and it's going a little bit too far. Yeah, there's going to be connections, but you can make connections everywhere, and you can see connections and everything. If you think hard enough and you look at it hard enough, you can really do that. And I think that it's just one of those things that video games is going to have to maybe take the fall for it, but I don't think it's the answer, and I don't think it's the proper way to go about it. I don't think that video games lead to violence. I wasn't a violent kid because of video games at all. I wasn't violent at all. And I know a lot of other people who are far more violent than I was anyways, and have ended up in worse places, and they didn't play video games half as much as I did, because I was a nut bar for that stuff. I used to play so much video games as a kid. And at one point, I would say it even fueled me to do things. The whole reason I would go to school and I would think about video games the whole time, and I just want to come home and play that, and I'd play it until 4 a.m. and then I'd get up for school. So I mean, yeah, at one point it definitely was, but it's a different thing now, and it's different for everybody. And these things, the entertainment, it takes us away from the bullshit. And I don't think that something that can bring that much joy to people would bring so much negativity on the other side. Although, to completely dismantle my whole argument, life is a lot like, it needs the yin and the yang. Everything that has to be good has to be equally as bad to balance it out. So, no, I don't think they're connected. No, I think that it's wrong to blame video games. But, I can see why they made that connection. Going on from something that's not so depressing, and hopefully we don't have to talk about that again. Although, again, it's just my opinion. If anybody else has any sort of questions or they want to talk about it or they have something to say about it, feel free to message me, say something, comment on the video, share the video, and I would appreciate that because I love just discussing. I would even love to have somebody come on and talk with me on the show. We can have a discussion right here, just like this, or, I can add it in, you can comment, I can do a live stream, we can do something to figure that out. Anyways, Borderlands 3 finally released, or revealed their final character for the game. I'm actually getting more and more excited for Borderlands. I'm probably not going to pick it up right away because Destiny is going to be crazy, and I keep thinking about playing Final Fantasy 14. It's kind of bugging me a little bit how much I want to play the game, but I digress. Borderlands 3. They've released or revealed. Oh my God! They've revealed their fourth character. His name is 4LF. Wait. I did that all wrong. It's FL4K, which I think means flak. I think it's just flak, but we're going to just wonder until it comes out and we find out. He's a robot beastmaster. He looks really cool. He's got kind of like a ghillie suit thing going on, and he's got these 3 animals with him. He's really cool looking. They also have Zane Flint. He's an operative. They got the Gunner Mose and then Siren Amara. The game's looking real good so far, and I heard that they are going to have more characters added onto that later. And I'm thinking that they're going to go pretty hard with this one, so it's looking good. It's got me questioning what I'm going to do with, when it comes to that. But again, I think that I'm probably going to stick with Destiny 2 when Shadowkeep comes out, and I'm really going to just enjoy that and play that because it's just Destiny. There's no more Activision involved, and I'm hoping that it's going to be real good. I'm thinking it's going to be real good, but Destiny 2 has really had a lot of letdowns, so we'll just see. Final Fantasy 14, they keep having their events, and they're doing good. Final Fantasy 14 is pulling the biggest player base right now of people from other games over to it consistently too. So on top of it being an FF title, it's also an MMORPG, and it can take up all of my time at night. So that's something I'm super interested in because I love Final Fantasy so much. I love it, and I think about it all the time. Sometimes I'm like, if I start, it's too late to start now. There's too much to catch up on. Like I can't play it because if I play it, then I don't know what I'm gonna do if I love it. I keep thinking that maybe I'll just wait for the next installment of the online game and I'll just go from there. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm interested in that as well. So we'll see. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching. I'll be uploading these videos onto Facebook because I did the other one not that long ago. I want to build a Facebook page to sort of have all the links ready to go, like just have a fan page ready to go on Facebook. I'm looking into building that, but I'm still not really sure how I want to go about it. I don't know if I want to be able to I don't know if I want to get into doing other things first or just directly go onto that. I think I might just do that, just a quick fan page, and then work on building it a little bit better after, just so there's easier access to everything on Facebook. And I've also been thinking about making other accounts on other social media events or social media pages, just to try to get the word out a little bit more. Anyways, I want to thank everyone for watching. If you can please like the video, I'd appreciate that. If you can subscribe to the video if you haven't, or if you can get other people to subscribe, that would be fantastic. And if we can all just do a little better, that'd be great too. Anyways, thanks everyone. Have a good one.